What's happening? I'm at 64 Josh. I got Supernintendad with me. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Nintendo just decided to say, hey, Paper Mario is going to come out July 17th. Here's a trailer. Just out of the blue. Now, this isn't a series that I've played a lot of, but you have, and so I wanted to do a quick discussion about the trailer and kind of find out some of your thoughts and yeah. So just right off the bat, what is your initial thought of this trailer?
At first I didn't think they showed enough of the like battle system, but then I guess going back and looking at it, they sort of show it off, and I'm still, I mean, they do have a battle system, but it seems to be a new one, just like they normally do with every one of their games, have some sort of new battle system. So,
in this battle system, we're talking about the rings that you can see that, like, it looks like you're trying to line up the characters, and then, so it shows them, like, lining up some Hammer Brothers, and then, like, origami Hammer Brothers, and then you see later on in the trailer, this same kind of battle taking place where Mario's lined up 4 boos, and then he stomps on them with shiny boots.
Right. Yeah. And it's seems to be where the enemies are on different sections of the ring, and then you got to spin them around and rotate them. So you're taking your turns doing that. And I guess they show some companions that you're going to have, but in the trailer, they weren't actually in any of the battles with you.
Yeah, that was interesting, because you could see, I mean, throughout the trailer, Mario's with Bowser Jr., Kamek, this little yellow origami guy that, like, in my breakdown of the trailer, I talked about, like, the way we see him for the first time is he looks like the superstar, just with one of his points folded up. Is facing the wall, but then you know, and then he turns around. He has the same eyes. Now, a lot of these origami characters have these same, just like the little black, you know, the little black slits, basically, that the Starman or the, you know, superstar, whatever you want to call it now, had back in the day. So, but so here's my question then, and you may or may not be able to answer it. At one point, we see Mario, like, walking through, like, tall grass. The little origami star guy, whatever, is with him, and there's a origami shy guy off in the distance that's walking towards Mario. So, do you think if those two collided, that you would be then put into this battle system where it's back on the rings? What are your thoughts?
I get it. I mean, based on, like, the previous Mario, like, especially with, like, Color Splash, you'd be running around, you see them, and then if you collide with each other, you end up fighting. And it seems like all the enemies that you fight are origamis, and then the enemies,
the uncreased,
the uncreased enemies that you would normally fight, aside from Toad, all the other ones are, like, enemies, and they're on your team. But most of that stuff doesn't even come from the trailer. It just comes from either the official website or the Japanese official website, the US website or the Japanese website.
Yeah, there's, like, a handful of screenshots and things like that. And I think you said right before we got on this call, Game Explain just did a 50 things you missed in the trailer breakdown. Yeah. So recommend going and checking that out as well if you guys are all stoked about this game and want to see some of the things. I mean, I went through kind of frame by frame on my breakdown as well, and there is a lot, and it was, you could kind of start putting 2 and 2 together, like seeing that anybody that's uncreased is basically a friend, you know. And it's right at the beginning of the trailer, you see a shy guy flying in with a clown car and catching Mario. Bowser has the look of being like he was in the process of being creased when Mario rescued him. Right. So it's very interesting to see the way, because he hadn't fully taken the shape of the origami or the paper. And so I thought it was interesting. So I want to go back to a little bit about the attack system. Yeah, the only game I've really spent much time with is Color Splash, and I know some people are gonna be like, ooh or whatever, like I can't believe that's the one you've played, but I know that's just the way it is. So, which I had a good time with it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but I can't compare it to the other games, right? So I don't know, like Thousand Year Door and the other ones. So
yeah,
but I don't recall, like, if you saw a single character, would it be the kind of thing like and I'm just like Octopath Traveler, I believe you could run into one character, but then you'd be fighting 3.
Yeah, you could. That's how it's always been, where you might run into like a Goomba. Even in the original one, you'd run into a Goomba, and then when you go into the battle, there's like 2 of them there.
Got it. Okay. So that's where this ring attack, and let's talk about this for a little bit. I kind of like it. It almost is like a puzzle aspect to the turn-based system in an RPG, and I think it's kind of cool because you are lining up. They seem to reward you for lining up the most enemies possible, right? We see them line up for, and then it says you get a 1.5 like damage boost or something along those lines. And so I think it's kind of I don't know. I like this. I mean, obviously we haven't done it. We're only just basing it off what we've seen in the trailer, but I kind of like the way it that just adds and kind of gamifies the turn-based stuff. Because I know some people are kind of turned off by turn-based. They don't really like it because of the slower pace. But if there's another little element of strategy, I don't know, it might be kind of fun.
Yeah, it seems like they might make it so you're spending one turn getting the enemies in position, and then in the other Mario games, I think even Color Splash had this, where when they come at you, you can time it right and like either dodge the attacks or counter attack. So you might be doing that. So it's like more, gives you more to do than just hit the button and attack them.
I know for me, being just your kind of your standard Mario player, right? You step on a Goomba, that's it, they're done. And in this one, he steps on those 4 boos. They take 23 damage. They get crushed, which looks really, really great. The animation is very cool. Looks like crushed paper, and then they pop back up. Because obviously the battle's not over, and you can see the start of the game. I mean, I'm making assumptions, but the start of the trailer anyway, when you rescue Bowser, you're at like 50 out of 50 HP. And then when he's fighting those boos, it's like 120 out of 120. So you're obviously leveling up and gaining more HP as you're moving through the game.
Right, yeah. Which would be good. And so I guess that the person that flies around with you, they're like the gold star. Their name's Olivia. And they're fighting against King Ali. King Ali is the one that is like the purple origami king.
With the emo haircut.
Yeah, with the emo haircut.
Yeah.
The emo origami hair. And then the arms that you get, they're just called the 1,000-fold arms. So. Okay. Now, breaking down the trailer. When you see him using those arms, he's standing on a gold platform. Yeah, it's like it's lit up, it's all shiny, and those arms are out. But then he tears that perforated building by moving the Joy-Cons. And it shows them side by side, like not in a grip. So it makes me wonder about how this game controls. Yeah, because it shows the Joy-Cons and then just says pull. So maybe it uses motion control. To some extent, right? I mean, if you think about Odyssey, which was a 3D Mario, but one of the ways that I think they were hoping people would play it is split Joy-Con so you could still use the waggle like you had in Galaxy. Yeah. And so, how much of that is... I can't imagine that this is going to be a strictly motion control game because you couldn't play it on the go, right? They seem to be pretty good about adding variables, but I mean... making it optionable, yeah. Yeah, different options, but like, so are you going to have to tilt your Switch down when you grab something with these arms, and then is that
the is it an option you can turn on or off? We don't really know yet. How do you feel about seeing motion controls? Like, are you cool with it, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see anything that would make it motion controls for the battle system. So that I'm okay with. It just seems like the way it's set up is like, just like you said with Mario Odyssey or even Galaxy, they were doing it back then, where you would just do a little shake and then be on your way. Because even if you do that in with the Pro Controller, if you just pull it towards you or whatever, to just rip that down. They've always had things like that in the Paper Mario games, and even the Mario and Luigi games that they would make on like the 3DS and the DS, where they would have like a certain thing that you would do, and you would only do it so often. So it's not like something that you would do a lot, but yeah, it definitely does look like it'll be something that you do with the motion controls.
You know what kind of gets me excited too is thinking about like and watching the way, you know, you could see the paper tear away from the house. Is I wonder how HD Rumble is going to be incorporated into that.
Yeah, that would be nice to see how that feels. Because Nintendo usually always does a great job with their the HD Rumble.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just knocking on the doors in Animal Crossing.
Yeah. They're always like real subtle.
It's just a nice little touch, but it like really makes me wonder like how is it going to play out. So as a fan of this series, like how do you think this one's going to rank amongst all the other Paper Mario games?
I like how they're incorporating like Bowser in a fun way, sort of like they did in previous games. And it seems like I'm not the biggest fan of card battling games, so that's part of the reason why I didn't like Color Splash as much. But the way the ring looks like, it looks pretty cool. I don't mind when people take like turn-based battles and change them up some. So I'm waiting to see more about the battle system and how it works. But yeah, this one I think will probably be at least higher, than Color Splash, which isn't saying much because I don't think that many people actually played Color Splash.
Of course. Yeah.
And not only that, but then the people that did play it didn't seem that happy with it. Yeah, it was. It's kind of weird when this trailer came up, and everyone was talking about it. It reminded me of when Color Splash became available for preload on the Wii U, and for like the first hour or two that it was up, the preload, it was they messed it up and they didn't put the preload up. They put the full version of the game up, and people were downloading it and playing the whole game about a month early. They didn't plan for that to happen, but I just remembered that when this came out. And yeah, what about you? What do you think? What do you think from watching the trailer? How excited are you that not only is it coming out, but we'll be able to play it in July, which is not that far away?
That's one of the most amazing things, right? Is that it's like we've all wondered about this year with Nintendo. Like there hasn't we had a mini direct, right? We didn't even really have a full on direct, and so there's been a lot of questions on what is going on and what games are going to be coming out. We talked about it on the podcast last night, where it was like, hey, the end of May, beginning of July, or beginning of June, there's going to be a lot, and then it's a ghost town after that. We don't know. And here's the one thing I've really appreciated Nintendo for in the last few years with games like Yoshi's Crafted World and Yoshi's what was the yarn game called? I can't even remember. Woolly World, right?
Yeah, Woolly World.
Yeah, Woolly World, and then Craft. Like seeing Nintendo incorporate real life objects into their games, it just adds this element of charm, and that element of the things that we would imagine as a kid trying to maybe trying to incorporate my paper airplanes with my action figures or things like that. And that's kind of what we're seeing with these games. And so I also like that we're seeing what, again, I'm not real familiar with the series, but the art style, Mario always seems to stay the same. But then seeing that the enemies are, it's paper that's been folded and turned into something. And I'm also very curious about the story, and they showcase some really odd enemies, like this large rubber band creature, which I thought at first was maybe yarn, but looking at it closer, it looks like rubber bands.
Yeah, and then they also had the big like that big turtle that came out of the sand,
right,
under the ground, and also they had what looks like overworlds where you can ride around in a little boot and then ride around in the water too in a boat. And that looked pretty interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how big this game is, because apparently Intelligent Systems has been working on this game for a while, because they supported who was it that made Fire Emblem? Wasn't it Koei Tecmo?
I believe so.
Yeah, so they helped them. They oversaw it and helped them do it, but most of the team apparently was working on this Paper Mario game, and so I wonder how big it'll end up being. If it'll end up being a bigger game than usual. I'm excited for it, and it's always exciting to see what they're gonna do in terms of paper. Like you said, he always stays the same, but then the gimmick or the whole conceit of the game is origami now this time. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of abilities we have and what we can do, or if it's just ends up being lining them up and what the abilities we end up getting. So yeah, I mean, and even Bowser Jr. is in this as one of your friends, which I imagine he becomes an ally because you're with Bowser.
And that's a question I have watching the trailer. The clown car shows up with Shy Guy driving.
Yeah.
Right. Then later in the trailer, I'm working on my edit right now. I'm staring at the video of Bowser Jr. saying, "Ta-da, how do I look?" And you've got Kamek and they're like in a pool. You got Kamek, Mario, and then you said, what was the little Olivia?
Olivia, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Olivia, they're in this pool, and she's got her face is bright red. And Bowser Jr.'s in the clown car saying, "Ta-da, how do I look?" And I'm like, so was he the Shy Guy? Was that a disguise? What, just trying to figure out why is the Shy Guy driving the clown car? Or did we not get to see, was Bowser and Bowser Jr. both creased and we rescue both of them? But you can't, I don't know, at the beginning of the trailer, you just see Mario, Bowser, and Olivia jump into the clown car and then fly out. So I'm curious on what happened to Bowser Jr. Do we find him along the way? And then Kamek's able to change him back? And is Kamek going to play a big role? Because he's in the trailer a number of times. Is he going to play a role in changing Peach back?
Right, because they even show him in on the website, not so much the trailer, but on the website, they show him following you, he's in your party and you're about to fight some piranha plants. So it's it's pretty interesting to see what they end up doing.
I even saw Luigi in a Mario Kart, in the go-karts.
Right, yeah. So it'll be because I didn't see, there's no sign of Luigi anywhere. So I guess we'll have to wait and see who if anyone like Luigi shows up. And then not only that, but at the end of the trailer, they show Mario wearing a Samus helmet.
Yeah, what is this about? So I've been tweeting and throwing up pictures on my Instagram of things I've been spotting from the trailer, like when the ship gets rammed by the paper airplane, and you see Kamek, Bowser Jr., Mario, Olivia, Koopas, and Spikes all hanging out there. And then the last one I put out was with Mario with the Samus helmet, but on the upper right of that room, you've got what looks like morph ball bombs. To me, that's what I'm like trying to figure out what these things look like. They look like the morph ball bombs from Super Metroid, and possibly even Metroid, right? I think in Metroid they were just purple with like a blue center or something. But you've also got Donkey Kong's like a paper, and they're paper mache. And then early on in the trailer, you see a paper mache Goomba that's eating the side of a building.
Yeah, I wonder if the paper mache things have something to do with the whole story as well.
It's very, very possible. But when Mario puts the helmet on, he starts going pew, 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 and jumping back and forth. And the characters on screen are like, oh, he looks like he's playing a game.
Yeah, it does. That's what it's. Yeah, so I'm just curious if they're going to end up doing something with, if it's like a part of the story and you go to like a Nintendo world, or if it's something to do with Amiibo.
Oh, interesting. Man, that'd be so strange if it had to do with Amiibo. But if this game's been in development for a while, Amiibo could have been implemented early on.
Or it could be something like you get the Amiibo. You get the Amiibo for in the game, and to unlock the like Samus helmet and things, or you can unlock them in the game somehow.
Yeah, which is hopefully the way they do it. That's how they did with Odyssey and stuff, which was a great way. Just because a lot of people don't have those Amiibos, so to have that paywall, which is significantly increased now because you're having to buy them from eBay. That'd be very unfortunate.
Yeah,
very unfortunate. But I wonder too, like, are we going to see cameos from like Link or Kirby?
Oh yeah, or like Isabelle.
Right? Yeah, exactly. There's so many. There's so many, and like I said, the one picture that I saw, I think it was Game Explain's thumbnail for. They just have a bunch of photographs of in-game cutscenes, all that stuff. One of their videos, but their thumbnail was Luigi in his cart, but it was like made out of paper mache or whatever as well.
Yeah.
So. Very like so interesting. This game comes out of nowhere, and I mean, I've got like 3 pages of notes for my breakdown of the trailer because there's just so much in it. There's so much in it, and I think the last thing that we'll kind of wrap up on here is that like there's a lot of Super Mario Brothers 2 aesthetics and characters happening in this game. Shy Guys, Ninja, Sniff It. There's like a whole like neon looks like a Vegas strip for Sniff It, which is the little shy guy with the nose that shoots the pellets out of it.
Yeah. So it's only a matter of time before Wart shows up.
Right? Are we gonna see Birdo? Are we gonna see it's crazy. It's crazy. So I don't know. Good stuff. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time to chat with me about Paper Mario. Where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, Supernintendad.
All right, guys, if you have any questions, comments, you spotted something in the trailer that we didn't talk about, let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye now.